Hey everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to effectively use technology to create your info product. Have you ever thought that you wanted to create an info product, but the idea of selecting a tool to create it, or even how to create it, was seemingly impossible? And that maybe even if you did create something, who would even buy it? These are all really valid concerns. And I totally understand that technology can be overwhelming, especially when you're trying to figure out how to create something for the first time. In this blog, I'm going to give you one way to help you find and select different technology to create your info product and hopefully make it a lot easier on yourself. Okay, so as much as I love systems, technologies, and tools, even I get really frustrated sometimes. I have been in the situation where I'm trying to create something. I have this beautiful vision in my head of what it's going to look like. And then I'm in the tool like Photoshop and I'm trying to create it and it's not working. It's not coming out perfectly. And I'm getting so frustrated. This is very common. And whether you are someone new to technology and using some new apps for the first time, or you're someone who's been involved in technology their whole life like me, it's common for everybody, regardless of the level that you're at. So what we tend to default to do is to go back to what we know, which oftentimes in the case of digital info products is to create a video, pop it up on YouTube, and call it training. But as I have emphasized before, telling is not training. And it's your responsibility to do more for your audience. Before you actually start trying to create anything, such as producing a video or making a course full of many different videos and other assets, I want to emphasize the importance of taking a big step backwards. Yes, you would never go and build a house without a blueprint. Can you imagine just showing up at Home Depot and saying, "Hey, I want to build a house, I need supplies"? They'd probably laugh at you because you'd have no idea how many 2x4s and shingles and electrical wires that you need because you never created a blueprint. Course creation is the same way. In order to create an effective course that helps people take their learning to the next level and empowers them to take action, you must develop that blueprint. So if you haven't started there, let's start there right now. The next step is then to select your tools. When you have the blueprint and you know what you're actually going to be creating, then you can look at all the tools available. Again, back to our house, thinking about how many different types of saws are there and screwdrivers and nails that you could possibly select from. Technology is the same way. So once you know how you are most going to effectively design your course, then you select the tool that meets you right where you're at and at your level of using technology. Today I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorite learning design resources, the Pedagogy Wheel. This wheel has been monumental to my background as an instructional designer for the past 12 years. And it helped me so many times in deciding exactly what I'm going to create and the tools that I'm going to use. Instead of being dazzled by the latest and greatest technology and overwhelmed by all the options out there, this wheel is going to help make the decision easier for you. So now I'm going to show you how to use the Pedagogy Wheel in order to help you fine-tune your training and fine-tune your program and select the appropriate technology for the activity that you are creating. First things first is that you need to determine the level of learning. If you remember from my Bloom's taxonomy blog, I'll put the link in the blog below. If you remember from that, we talked about there are different levels of learning, starting with remembering and understand, moving up to applying and analyzing. And what this means is that if you're asking your learners just to remember and understand what you're talking about, that's a much more simple concept than if you're actually telling them they need to apply it or analyze the information that you're giving them. So on the Pedagogy Wheel, first we're going to select from the innermost ring what we're asking our learners to do. In this example, I'm going to use the Create pie section. So I go to the purple Create section, and from here I'm going to select an action verb. We are going to ask our learners to compose a multimedia presentation in order to be able to re-emphasize the points to their audience. So say my course is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm teaching people how to create their own courses. So my learners, I'm going to ask them to compose their own presentation to deliver the information. And so once you get to knowing what you're going to have people do, so create, compose, multimedia presentation, you then have a selection of tools on the outermost ring that will help your learners actually make this presentation. So for example, we could select iMovie or Story Creator or Book Creator, Web Albums. All of these apps would be great tools to help our learners be able to create something. Another example is if you want to help people understand something. You would go to the Remember and Understand innermost ring, select your action verb. I'm going to choose Identify. And we're going to ask people to name something. So this means that maybe in my course I helped people learn a process. So now in the activity, I'm asking them to name the process. And then I go ahead and I can select my tool. I really like Prezi for doing something like this, or maybe Google Docs even. So as you can see, this wheel helps me figure out what tool is best for what I'm asking my learners to do. The main point of all of this is to create a product that is going to help your learners be able to take actions from what they learned from you. So we're not just looking to present information and have it go in one ear and out the other. We want our learners to take action to create change in their lives. And unfortunately, if you just have a talking head video, this isn't going to do it. Let's have our learners be able to practice, get feedback, create new things in order to create that change. If you are feeling trapped with technology and you don't know where to go and what to use, check out this wheel and check out all the different tools that are involved in it. And there's even so many more that aren't on the wheel. But check them out and find one that works for you and works for your learners. I'd love to know what you think about this. Is the wheel overwhelming, or does it make a lot of sense and it's helpful to you? What new tools did you find that you didn't know about before? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks.